Actually, I was gonna get some water, but I guess I can get water. Actually, there's water here. Same list as last time. Well, hopefully we'll get some testing for duress in. We shall see. Kind of want to pair into combo to see how we stack up. I believe it should be favorable for us. Obviously, we'll lose game one, but should be favored post board. This is like a known painter player. I don't think we can. Shoot. I guess we can save the Beseju as removal, but I think the Cradle is just too good not to take. Part of me thought about taking the, you know, the one drops. Well, this maximizes our glimpse, right? We draw creatures as well. But I think we definitely want to save the Beseju as a removal. That is a pretty good start from our opponent. Depending on what they do here, like we can opt to leave Beseju up or not. Decent chance we just want to. Well, we'll see. Decent chance we just want to kill this painter as well, but it really depends what they do. They would need 4 mana to do everything next turn with. They would need 4 mana to do everything with Grindstone, but we shall see. So that would either require a LED. I'm sorry about the Jazz, Jay-Z. I know they're letting you down right now in that series. Unfortunately, Quinn Snyder has learned his lesson in terms of how to deal with people attacking. You know, the sieves that are the wing defenders on the Jazz. Sorry, yeah, the Jazz. It's all right. Here, if they have it, they have it. I think it's better to just take our value glimpse and then just play the percentages, all right? Yeah, all the turnstiles on the wings for the Utah Jazz. The blueprint was laid last year by the Clippers and Tyronn Lue in terms of how to beat. Yeah, exactly. What you do is you have two perimeter players. Sorry, two good shooters on either side of the ball, either side of the court, and then Gobert can cover for everything, right? I think here we might be in a good spot. Like we have a natural order kill next turn, which is like, I say that a lot. Obviously, this is the big eraser in this deck. I know, right? I just love that when asked about the loss this year in the playing game, Ty Lue just said, "Oh, the onus is on me to do better." And meanwhile, you have Doc Rivers, blaming his Orlando Magic players, for instance, when they blew a 3-1 lead in whatever that year was, early 2000s, I guess. Creator Huff is lethal. Hi, Oloro. Yeah, so pretty good hand by us. It definitely helped we were on the play. I know. Imagine that a coach actually taking responsibility for a loss. That wouldn't be Doc Rivers. I'm doing good. I was thinking about having the game on in the background, but I feel like that would be distracting for me already, given that you know I have a hard time multitasking as is. So being baby steps, one day. I think here we just want to board in the removal. We notably a couple of streams ago realized that Painter may name black against us, which is awkward with Snuff Out. Um, What? Okay, one second. How am I supposed to board? The good thing is, when you have, preemptively figured out how to board, you don't have to think, right? You just have to look at your old cheat sheet and how you did it before, and then go from there. It looks like we boarded out the Glimpse of Natures, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like, they were good there in. Ooh, why does not? Why does this not look right? Oh, interesting. I brought in the wrong. Clicked on the wrong map. I have a different one. So on my Patreon, actually, so it looks like two Glimpse of Natures here. I think that's reasonable. So on my Patreon, I actually have two different maps. Yeah, this is the first match of the night, Oloro. I might take a not big, small break or just eat while I play later because my wife is picking up food for me. It only stops it for one turn, right? And I think it's a little bit narrow. I mean, obviously, there's been times where I wish I had it because I just needed the one turn, but I think it is narrow. And this matchup tends to be a little bit grindy. So I don't. But so I kind of like the Visionary and the Waterwood. It also enables a fast natural order, but as a general rule of thumb, ooh, this is like interesting. I think we keep actually, because if we hit a land, then this could be a creature, and then we have some premium cards in here. I like Thoughtseize against like Jeskai control. I don't like them against like Euro decks. I don't know if it's Euro or Euro, but I tend to not like them against these blue-green decks with Euro. Um, Against creature combo, I don't like Thoughtseize as much, but it's not the worst thing in the world to do. The reason being is you fall behind, especially against something like Cephalid Breakfast, you just fall behind on tempo. In general, against creature combo, I like removal better. So here, man, like we have the snuff out. I think we just like, if they have the blood moon, so be it. But I think we will go ahead and just like, if they have the blood moon, so be it. I want to turn on snuff out though. That's gonna be a bolt, yeah. Bridge. So here, interesting. Here, hopefully, we have another land. Yeah, perfect. This is kind of neat. I think we can just cast. Recently discovered pain doesn't run Impure Recruiter. I think it depends on the build, but yeah, I think you're probably right on that, Oloro. And I think we're just gonna destroy this right now. I don't want them getting value. Yeah, I think like the build that's really popular right now is with the four Once Upon a Time. I don't know if they run Empiric Recruiters or not, but who would have thought, right? Once Upon a Time, a good card. So here, they can't even make a dude with Saga or Dudette, whatever you want to consider constructs. So they have. I mean, I gotta be sure if I'm attacking with. Yeah, Once Upon a Time is a very messed up card. So we do have lethal, I believe, next turn. Well, not quite actually. I think we're short, but that's all right. Now we kind of do, right? We're gonna hoof them here and then take them to one, and then essentially they like all their stuff's turned off. Actually, no, we do have lethal. For those who don't know, this is a cool line with Reclaimer. Obviously, I could like sequence that a little bit differently, but the point is, it's an extra creature, right? Yeah, this comes up every once in a while, more often than you would expect, for what it's worth. So again, Reclaimer here, doing the Lord's work, so to speak, right? Kind of an easy win here. Yeah, Once Upon a Time is messed up. You have no idea the pain that is going through me right now. That I'm only playing three, and part of me even is thinking maybe that's just wrong, right? Like the reason why I cut down to three is because I think the power level of the deck is probably the highest in Legacy. In my opinion, it's like that or like maybe Doomsday. That's a consideration. What else is like on the highest power level in Legacy? Anything with Dark Ritual probably as well. But I think Cradle is just a uniquely broken card, and I think we wanted to reduce the fail rate because, I played like Yorion League like not too long ago, and I just realized I went 4-1 even though the list was not, great. Yeah, three is okay. I would definitely not play two. I think that's like 100% wrong. I think Natural Order Pack is just too good to trim, so I just essentially want to reduce the fail rate of the deck. Speaking of which, I think if this is land, it's like maybe, probably not actually. The problem is like the Cradle is kind of a mole already, and so is the Bog. Actually, probably land. Now that I think about it. I thought about definitely keeping that seven. Like it had two Kratos, which is a little bit redundant, and the Bog. I think if it not for the Bog, I probably keep, even though it has two Kratos. But I think there's a chance we just like whiff on the. I think there's a chance we just whiff on the what is it called? The Once Upon a Time too, which is probably the tiebreaker there, right? Like I never thought about keeping it, but they moved to four, so there is this and that. I think the hand also had natural order, so like maybe I should have kept, but hard to say. I played it a little safe. Since the Bog, it was like a virtual mole to five already, right? If they have a wasteland. I think hero play it safe. Just get the basic. I I actually understand. Maybe I'm getting old. I know the cowbell reference. HC Fox. Obviously, we were gifted that our opponent was mulling a four here. They can still beat us, obviously, but harder. Oh, I think they're on. Not what I think they're on. Shoot. Well, no, I kind of. Why must people play these kind of decks? Why must people play these kind of decks? Huh? Sure. Probably just want to hit the yard. Maybe they have loam or something. I don't know. Yeah, they're playing Sylvan Plug, which is not really a meta deck. I think actually they probably block. I think if I attack. In hindsight, I think I probably just want to make mana. Like endurance is probably not winning the game anyway. So I think if I had a do-over, I'd probably do that differently. They're probably playing some kind of weird sweeper too. This is the type of matchup I just like think about just conceding, just to save time. Not because it's bad or anything. I just don't think we get anything out of it. If maybe if I had a god account, I'd just concede, right? I don't want to play against it. Probably already a mistake by me. Yeah, I do regret playing the endurance, right? I mean it's a clock, but like I don't know. That's gonna be the difference. I think you want a combo kill, right? You really want natural order. Yeah, what turn two? Yeah, they had turn two Trinisphere. The thing is, like, they know what we're on to. That's probably why they mulligan aggressively, right? So decent chance that that first hand actually maybe doesn't get there. Sure. Little bit punished now. Thank you for the follow, Justin. That's actually pretty good. I think there's a three ball out. We could get, you know, Shepherd and then play a bunch of stuff. That loses to a sweeper. I feel like it might just lock up the game if we get a Gris here. Because then we don't lose to a random sweeper, is the thing. Um, so yeah, we play the thing, and then that gets out the. It gets out the Shepherd, and then we could tap a Waterwood, and then I think that would be it. We can't even cast Division. I think, yeah, we just do that. That's a good mill, too. Oops. Lou, off. My dog is on the table at the moment. I had a feeling this would just lock up the game. Thank you for the follow, Morento. Alright. This is a Progenitus matchup. I don't know what's in their list, but the extra land might just be useful. I don't think we're gonna be. This is like a glimpse matchup, probably not. Um, Endurance seems like reasonable and just to like pressure. And because I don't think we're gonna actually get to glimpse is the reason. Snuff out. What does it hit? Like their dork, I guess maybe. Maybe just board in the one. I think I like this. Obviously, we're a little bit punished here without the Force of Vigor. Uh, but I don't think I want multiple snuff outs because I don't know how many, green creatures they have. Possible, it's like, yeah, I think it's fine. I think we just want the bog for the extra land. It's kind of how we boarded against Moonstompy. Hmm. I hate keeping this, but it is what it is. I don't think we can realistically mull this hand, right? It's like a otherwise solid hand. They're gonna probably just mulligan into 3 ball. I don't know. It's like relatively new. I think like maybe a month. I have to look it up. Let me see. On my Patreon, it actually says exactly how long I've been playing it. Because I know you know, let me see. Looking at my Patreon. So I posted on April 19th. This is April 27th. So roughly, a week and a half or so since I started playing it. So here, yeah, we will just mull, I guess. So about I want to say 10 days or so, since I started playing Snuff Out. But it's like I think most people are playing the list now though. So I think this is kind of interesting because I can actually get off the ground with a evoke endurance into Green Sun for 1, and I think that's what I wanted to do. I'm using the endurance as I'm using that endurance as Lotus Petal essentially. The trick here, I think, is do I get a Shepherd or do I get a Dryad Arbor? I feel like it's got to be Shepherd because it turns on the rest of the stuff. It's a little bit weak to Plague Engineer, unfortunately. But the other stuff is turned off anyways. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get Shepherd. If they have the Engineer, then so be it. But I think I want to turn on my Reclaimer and my Wirewood to protect my lands. Yikes. Yeah, I think Justin, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. That's a compliment. I think. Like, I do think a lot of elf players are starting to realize with the new, metagame that, namely, I'm gonna bash first. I think it's gonna be really important to protect the Shepherd. They could have Dismember on the stack, but I think we can't play around it. But I think they're realizing with Boseiju being one of the biggest printings for the deck in a long time. Ooh, I think we have to do it now. I think yeah, with Boseiju being one of the biggest printings for the deck in a long time, we can afford to play haymakers like Snuff Out now. That is less. That's not a creature, right, so to speak. I think, barring something crazy here, it might be game. And I'm not gonna bounce. I mean, I think red has its merits. I don't think Rurik Thor is like close to playable though. The problem with Rurik Thar tends to be it's not a great main deck card because it has to attack, and the issue with Rurik Thar, yeah, it has to attack, which means it's a liability against Ice Fang and Strix, or just other random things. Or like if you get out like game one against Delver and they land a Murktide, suddenly your thing dies. Yeah, like at least an Archon, what you do is you turn off instant and they're just a sitting duck, right? You just have to draw either Green Sun or Natural Order or Glimpse, and they're dead. I know people have said, oh, Archon lines up poorly against Murktide, and while there's some merit to that, it's mostly not a big deal because I don't think I've ever lost a game where they got a Murktide and I suddenly had to block. Like, it's come close, don't get me wrong, but usually by that time you can find a win condition and kill them. And then, obviously for me, game two I board out Natural Order, so I don't leave that package in. But at least game one, like, Rurik Thar would just die to a Murktide, whereas an Archon, if they attack, you attack back, so to speak, right? And then not only that, you have a few turns to find either Green Sun for Gris or Natural Order to just straight up kill them. Or just like endurance, the chump block, whatever you need be, right? I don't believe I've lost with Archon out to Murktide because, like I said, you can usually find your win condition before you're dead. So I think the other thing about red when I've tried it is, and I know Inigo has shouted to him. Oh, here are my socials, by the way, for those of you who are, want to keep tabs on the elf community. We're 2-0 Sadra, but I think, yeah, Patreon, there's a lot of good information, and I think Snuff Out, for everybody who's checked, MTG Go Fish, or just the results, namely Joseph Dyer does a good job recapping, what's going on in Legacy at the moment. I think here's the article from yesterday. I'll post it here. But there are 3 elf lists, namely 2 from Jörg and 1 from Julian. More or less my list, right? Like Julian got the list from Jörg, who usually gets his list and makes a few changes from me. But essentially my list that's popular right now, which is the Snuff Out innovation, because it just free spells are broken, and with Boseiju in the main deck already, you don't need flexible removal in Assassin's Trophy. And I actually have, I'll post it here, but here is the most recent post on Patreon, and this one is free actually. So if you're curious and want more information on elves, this one is free as a anniversary thing, because essentially yesterday was a 2-year anniversary of me winning the showcase qualifier, and what's it called? Okay, one second. I need to think about this. Probably a mole, right? It's got a bog and it's got an arbor. Yeah, I don't think this is a keep. Ooh, unfortunately that's worse. Got a mole. I wish I kept my, excuse me, opening hand, but actually wrong one. I want to keep fetches. Yeah, so I'm really happy for him. I know he was really struggling with the blue-red matchup as recently as like a month ago, but I told him the thing about Delver matchup is you have to play really tight, unfortunately, and the Delver player is often casting spells at random, and unfortunately you lose to that if you don't play tight. The skill level of the Delver player matters little compared to the skill level of the elf player, and he was making some small mistakes that he eventually cleaned up, and that's why he's been on a roll lately, right? Like I think he top eighted the last three challenges, including he usually only plays the Saturday ones, but then he decided to play Sunday as well this past weekend and top eighted both challenges. So JOERG is correct. If you don't have the ability to type in the two dots above the O easily, so to speak. Looks like our opponent is on blue-red. Kind of wish I kept my opening hand now, but I mean, it is what it is, right? I think we probably lost, given that we moved to five. I like. Thank you, Diggs. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I started early today. Bless my wife for picking up dinner for us, which I will probably, I know it'll be a little awkward, but I will probably eat it on stream later. I figure that's probably better than me, you know, closing the stream entirely, right? So I apologize in advance. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, I think given if I had known this matchup, I probably would have just kept my seven. Obviously, it gets a lot worse when I was forced to mold to six because no lander. And our opponent did only mold once, so that was unfortunate. So low key, I would not have blocked. Um, I think right here, we probably just have to main phase endurance. They days us. Yeah, nothing we can do about that. Mostly Delver, I think Sage. I didn't play yesterday night. I actually played paper play, just some EDH, for the first time all year since this calendar year started. But I did play Monday night, and I mentioned on my Patreon channel and on Discord that I did 5-0 with that. So the list feels good. Unfortunately, yeah, we have a mole here, but uh, that is what happens sometimes. The unfortunate part was not the first mole. It was the second mole that was unfortunate. So Zach, I can't speak to it too much, and especially given our matchup, I think it's actually better for us. But I do think Isaac in general is a very smart young mind. So even if I didn't read, I read part of his article. I didn't read it, admittedly, super detailed, but I tend to think he's a very smart guy. And obviously, nobody's right all the time. But like I said, I think he, in general, is a pretty smart person. So take that for what it's worth. So here, I think I'm gonna play the Baseju and attack. Mm, yeah. I mean, I know what you mean. So here, I think I'm just gonna bog preemptively because I don't want a Murktide just stare down a Murktide. Yeah, that's probably accurate for sure. We are flooding a little bit. Kind of missed the layer of the Hydra right here. I know HC Fox would be proud, right, for me saying that. But we'll see. The thing is, like, I don't know what Fausto Salza is typically on. If we kept the, if they were on like, I don't know, depths or something, we would have been punished for keeping that opening seven with Bog and Arbor, right? Luke, come on. I don't even know what they put off the. I should have paid attention. Looks like it was Wasteland off the iteration. That is quite good. I think here we're just gonna play around. Double days, I guess, is one thing. They probably have to force this, yeah. I am on duress, Sadra. I think the card actually is very good, and I actually want to pair into combo tonight to test it. I suspect though that we're. What do they pitch? Bar, sure. I suspect they might have Murktide pretty soon, and we're probably in trouble. But our deck does top deck pretty well, so we'll see. We the trouble with this game was I'm not so mad. I think ultimately it's probably correct to mold that seven. If I know they're on Delver, I'd probably keep. But I mean, you never know, right? What are they doing? Are they just gonna go? Oh, they're gonna just like make a Murktide here, I think. I would not have done that if I were them. I think you go after my mana, right? Yeah, we went. So the six was obviously not a keep because no lands. But the five is like reasonable, but we are flooding out a little bit. Not the end of the world, but I think it's just not gonna happen because we don't really want to mull, and unfortunately we did. So we're at six, unless maybe they just have two bolts in hand. What is going on? I think actually what's gonna happen is Murktide. But if that was the case, I think they should have hit the Arbor. Could be an iteration. Sorry, what is going on? Iteration. Oh, okay. There's the Murktide. Sure. We're not dead, but we have a few live top decks. I mean, we have to answer the Murktide here, right? So that probably just has to be the either Green Sun or Gris. That's not it. So unfortunately, down the game. It's pretty important to win game one against Delver because that means you can actually afford to lose a game where they just go like, creature, 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 end the festivities. So I think we're probably a big dog going forward, but we'll see. The unfortunate thing too is like people tend to mulligan really aggressively against me because they know what I'm on, which is unfortunate because I don't enjoy that all too much because I don't think like you would do that normally otherwise, right? Unless you knew what the other person was on. And it's not like I would be mulliganing aggressively if I knew what you were on. The exception, obviously, maybe if like I don't know if I'm on the play and you're like a known graveyard player, maybe I just multi reclaimer. But like that aside, I probably keep most hands. We'll see how it goes. Definitely a dog going into games two and three with that having lost game one. Unfortunately, we mulled to five, but that, yeah, like I said, that is part of the fail rate of this deck, right? We have a higher ceiling, I think, than pretty much every deck, but maybe the Dark Ritual decks. And that's even debatable, right? Because Guy's Cradle is incredibly broken. But the floor is also slightly higher than definitely a fair deck because you just have like dead cards, right? That you don't want to draw at the wrong time, namely, the 6 and 8 drop. Yes. So my opening seven was functional. The issue though was like against the wrong deck, it's like a mode of five almost, right? With the arbor and the bog, but maybe I should have just kept. Like bog against the wrong deck just doesn't do anything. And arbor is like a pseudo mole too, and it wasn't the best five if I recall. I have to look. This is like really good. Yeah, I agree, Oloro. Like I typically will play normally, and actually, what I've been doing is like, especially when I play on this on a known account, right? Like, thank you for the follow corridor. It actually gets better testing for me because I get not everybody's best shot. Obviously, it's just a league, but a better shot for most people, or take their best punch, so to speak, right? And then in the end, I think it ultimately benefits me more. There you go, right, Sadra? The six was just unfortunate because it's just like not a keepable because no lands, right? It's got to be bolt here. Sure. Hmm. If I don't draw a creature here, I'm still gonna leave with a glimpse. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna think about it and then fire it off because that may de-incentivize them to force the glimpse. This is something I've thought about where if I fire off the glimpse too quickly, like a snap glimpse, they may auto force. Hmm. I think given I want the glimpse to resolve here, I'm actually going to lead with the shepherd and then glimpse. I lose out on a draw, but I still draw a good number of cards here. So I draw a 3, right? I mean, for little known thing about me is this. I've never actually cast a progenitus in my life. I know. Please don't cancel me just for that, right? Might be an end of festivities. Yeah, unfortunately. We had the ancestral recall already, so not the end of the world, but quite annoying for sure. The thing is, like, I lost out on one draw, but I think given that circumstance, like our hand didn't really do anything else. I really needed the glimpse to resolve. Thank you for the follow, T-Lob follower. I think we fire the glimpse here. We get 2 mana, and we hopefully draw a relevant. Yes, thank you. Relevant creature off the glimpse trigger, right? So the endurance evoke just paid for itself. I think here we want the visionary. Actually, the reclaimer is interesting too. Um, actually, yeah, I'll take the visionary. Hard to take, hard for me to pass up card draw. Yeah, it's a super cool interaction for sure. Waterwood is really good here to protect our creatures. Yeah. So my line here, regardless of what I drew, would have been play the cradle up, and then that beats end the festivities, and then we bash for 20 the following turn, because they have to have wasteland plus end the festivities, and that's just not gonna happen, right? Like we can just do it in response if need be. Uh, so yeah, we beat the end the festivities, no big deal. This game is probably gonna be harder because we're on the draw here, and if they have an end of festivities hand backed, sorry, if they have an aggressive hand backed by end of festivities, we probably just auto lose to that. Um, I don't know. Breach is pretty broken. I think Sadra, like in a vacuum, for whatever it's worth. But that's more a product of some other broken cards, right? Like LED specifically. I think what else is like really yeah, so Cradle, the thing that makes it obviously broken is it's virtual it's ramp plus so it's cheating on mana, but it's also virtual card advantage, right? Because you're replacing lands potentially. Hopefully we can get this here. It would be nice to, get that 5-0 on stream. We got the back to back a few weeks ago, I want to say. But ugh, I don't like that. But I think the rest of the hand is like pretty solid, so I'm gonna keep. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like this can be used for a cage, but then I really want to bait out Wasteland with it. Otherwise, I think it's like a couple of things. Dukes, has it like failed me before? Yeah, it has, where they have like two threats. But for the most part, I just want cheap removal against Delver that doubles as Merit Lage answer. It's more so for the latter. Like the way I build elves is I don't really. I know this is gonna sound crazy that because Delver is the most popular deck in the format. I actually don't worry about Delver until kind of the very end, in the sense that I work because it's so hard, in my opinion, to hate out Delver. I rather the other cards just answer my other matchups, and then I'll map to Delver accordingly if need be. What I mean by that is, for example, let me think. What I mean by that is the impact for the other cards that you run, the cyber cards, tend to be higher than against Delver. Right, it gets around that. I mean, yeah, it also gets around what is it called? Safekeeper, right? Which Caracas does not. So here they're gonna have a whatever pretty soon. Do I want to block? Probably not. if they attacked. They may daze or force this. I'm getting a. Well, we'll see what they do. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured would happen. So this type of play pattern indicates to me that there's a good chance they just have the Murktide in hand. Which is nice because it conveniently get around the channeler here. They'll attack, which is fine. I wasn't gonna block anyways, given the Cradle in hand. Uh, Part of me wants to fire off the glimpse, but then I can have to. I would have to wait another turn if I do the other line. Sometimes they have a one of Hellbreacher, so it's a little bit dangerous to attack, I think. But we can check for Hullbreacher by glimpsing though, for whatever that's worth. I think here I'm actually gonna. They haven't used any removal yet, which is interesting. I think what I'm gonna do is actually. Well, I think we can't wait too long too. So yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna fire out the glimpse and see what they do. Unfortunately, my fear was confirmed, right? Like sometimes they do have the Hull Breacher. Yeah, like I was afraid of that, but why they're running Hull Breacher, I don't know. Like, but good against us there. I hate this card or like this kind of design. Like the fact that it has flash is what irritates me. Same thing with Agent. It's gonna be tough, I think, to beat that. Like our hand is not great right now. We only have two stuff outs too in the deck. I think I'm just gonna deck thin here. That's not bad. Um, I'm gonna pass. Well, uh, yeah, I'm gonna pass because I don't want them to waste the Cradle. The asymmetric would have been fine if it's something like if it wasn't the Flash, I think. But I just hate that it's asymmetric and what is it called? It's asymmetric and nice, Dukes. Oh my god. Like this is quite annoying that like I don't even think this is like good in Delver because it's hard to get to 3 mana, but it's gonna eat us alive now because the iteration's gonna drown us. Unfortunate. Our path to victory, I think, from here is either snuff out on the Hull Breacher into draw spells, or a grist backed by endurance is probably the win from this point on. I mean, it is. The thing is, like, you should be super favored against the Undoing decks, right? Like, you're a Delver deck, and they're playing 3 drops. I mean, yeah, it's just frustrating here. Notably, this card is real bad right now, right? And sometimes why I hate this card. It doesn't deal with the Hull Breacher. Um, we could play one Assassin's Trophy. That would have been okay, but being bit by this at the moment. Sure. Part of me kind of want to play the third end and sorry, the third part of me kind of wants to play the third Assassin's Trophy, but sorry, the third Snuff Out, but I don't. I think that's just playing with fire. Yeah, it's just kind of brutal. The thing is, like, maybe with duress, I can feel good about show and tell matchup enough where I don't need to run the run of foul, and maybe I will consider that going forward because obviously this card like costs us here, right? Not being deal with the random Hull Breacher, um, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the first trophy is not the end of the world too. I just think trophy is not like a very good card at the moment. If you're casting creatures, you're not playing DNC optimally. Fair. I mean, we're dead anyways. There's no real path to winning this game now. I think, given the hand, they probably have the bolt, but um, we're gonna win this regardless. The small window, what the small window might have been, if this was a trophy, we kill the Hull Breacher. It felt like definitely felt like Hull Breacher was looming, and I definitely have to investigate that. But essentially, what would happen is maybe with duress in the sideboard, we're okay with not having the extra cards against Sneak and Show. Yeah, the issue with Decay is multiple things, right? Like 2 mana when the most popular deck in the format played at one point, you know, 8 1 drops or even 12 if you played Ragavan plus the full set of Delvers, but 8 1 drops just does not line up well. Obviously, the other thing is like not being able to counter is nice, but it's not. It doesn't make up for it because in terms of like how inefficient it is. Also, it doesn't kill the premier aggro threat in the format right now, which is Murktide Regent. So here we're just actually we're not dead. I guess we can do this. Correct. I believe Decay is an unplayable card at the moment, which is sad, right? Endurance. Actually, there it would have been nice to have the what is it called Arasta, right? We would have been able to green sun for it and then potentially stabilize. But even then, they can get submerged with just a bolt for us to lose. Oh, that's game. So they're gonna cast the borrower here, and we're just dead. Yeah. Good games. Yeah, Delve has always been broken. The mechanic, like anytime you're cheating on mana, obviously, right? Like, so didn't go as we planned there, but maybe that just means we need to update the sideboard, right? Like, based on the mapping, maybe the run of fouls can be one Caracas, just so we have an out to merit lage, and then what is it called? The first Caracas obviously does a lot, right? But it's a little bit slow, but it does give you endgame. Um, but maybe yeah, we cut the two run of fouls, run the one Assassin's Trophy, or even two. It's like reasonable, right? And then I don't really like playing too many Assassin's Trophy for whatever it's worth. And I think the first Caracas does a lot, even though I'm not playing at the moment. You can also cut the Mindbreak Trap, right? The card's kind of useless. Another thing to point out is we did lose game one, and that's what I mean by you don't have any margin for error. The one Mindbreak Trap hasn't really come up because I just haven't drawn it like ever since I went to this configuration, which was just like I think last Sunday. What I think, yeah, last Sunday I played with Inigo and ooh, I think he. This is like real loose actually, like three drops and then no land. I think it has to be that. I haven't had a sample size for it, but I in general hate that card. I just want to be able to beat Storm without having to run that card, and maybe the duress is enough. Uh, I I think at least in theory, out of the cards in the side, I hate this the most. So we know they're not on show and tell because they're playing snow covered lands. That's one tell, by the way. I don't mind one-ups in non-blue decks as much, Zach, because I used to be of that mindset, but then my good friend Jay-Z, Jonathan Zhang, convinced me to think about it a different light. Namely, don't think it so much as, oh, you're gonna be unlikely to draw it. More so think about how it maps with the rest of what you're going for. If you just need one card, for instance, against a specific matchup, I think that is like more defensible. See, like to have a one of, because you just fill out your mapping correctly, right? And I used to be of the notion, never will I play like one Leyline of the Void, for instance, right? That's probably the best example I can think of. But I think it's definitely more defensible. Here, I think a draw two is not enough. I'm gonna set up for a turn three glimpse instead. They could daze us here, which would feel bad. I guess there's that too. Looks like they're on Jeskai control though. They pitched Narset. Seems like they're probably gonna stick a Narset here. Unfortunate. The issue is like we also do not know what blue deck we're playing against, right? Like it could be anything, and we just got punished essentially for that. Like if I had known I'm playing against this, I probably do not fire off the Green Sun for two there, right? Like I just play creatures so that I can take the Narset off the board, or make it so that I mean, there is a chance we just like get blown out by undoing here, but yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't know what they were on, so I just like Green Sun for two because that sets up for a better turn three glimpse. Maybe just the correct hedge is to assume that they have like either Teferi or Narset, and if that's the case, then well, Teferi can attack with the Arbor, but otherwise, maybe it's correct to just play the Wirewoods and then be able to at least deny the draw. What did they get off the Narset, by the way? Teferi, sure. Um, I think we just play the Cradle. The issue becomes though, like if they're on a different deck, and I just like wasted my glimpse for a thought cast, then that feels really bad, right? So this is like a double divination, right, for them. Play draw is just so polarizing these days, unfortunately. Probably snap prismatic ending. What did they get with the Narset? Oh, they put another Narset in. Interesting. So they'll probably do that, yeah. We're just drowning right now in card advantage. That's not good. We take it down to one. We play the Visionary as another attacker. We lose the draw, obviously, but I think we need to take out Planeswalkers. This game looks completely different if we're on the play. Obviously, we've been the benefactor of being on the play in other matchups, but it's like very polarizing play draw at the moment. Unfortunately, in I guess maybe it always has been. Meme might be relevant. Great question, Sadra. It's crossed my mind to cut this card from the deck. I just don't think there's any suitable replacement at the moment. What I mean by that is nothing power level wise that would warrant it. So here I'm playing around a second remove. We need to take this card off the board. Is the reason. At least that only drew one, but it just like really messes with our sequencing though. And we were rewarded actually for playing the Visionary there. I don't think we care about that. I know, unfortunately. Neon Dynasty, man, what I never dreamed of getting a card like Boseiju for elves. I believe we have no choice but to do it now. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay. I'm actually happy they did that. So we're like pretty behind because of the Narset. That's annoying. That's fair. Actually, what was in the original Kamigawa for elves? I don't remember. I mean, I didn't play Magic back at the time. I got Glimpse of Nature. Actually, that's what comes to mind from Kamigawa. But yeah, but Sage is an absolute bomb. I don't think we can afford to lose our Visionary there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said it after the fact, or like before chat said. But yeah, Glimpse of Nature was in that block. But Seiju, where it ranks in terms of fire design, probably initially I had it behind Once Upon a Time and Reclaimer, but ahead of Shepherd and Endurance. I think since then it's probably went down a little bit just because we can only play 2 to 3 copies, and it's a little awkward with how we want our mana base to be configured. But and it's not its upside is a little bit lower than some of the others, but it's more free, so it's hard to gauge, right? Like there's less of a cost than Endurance and Allosaur Shepherd, but less of a ceiling. Hmm. I did it that way in case they counter it. I can still top deck Waterwood or Green Sun in the future. It's notably awkward here that. Ugh, all right. I mean, it is what it is. I probably get Archon there. Waterwood or Green Sun here off the top would be what the doctor ordered. That is not what the doctor ordered. If they want a plus here, that's their prerogative. This match is actually quite close considering how behind we were. I think we deck thin here. Oh my god. Oh, this is absolutely brutal. They're gonna bounce the Arbor here. Oh, interesting. I'm really surprised they did that actually. That almost suggests maybe they have a sweeper. Yeah, I'm really nervous. Unless they just screwed up, but I feel like they potentially have a sweeper. That is interesting. Hmm. I mean, we have to do it, right? Like, there's no choice here. Sure. Oh, this is like really awkward. Attack that. They block here. That goes to 2. Um. Yeah, I think we do it that way. Uh, Probably. I mean, I'm sure Gristlebrand has like honorable mention, right? I didn't think losing the Arbor was worth it. This game is super tight at the moment. Um, oh, might be a Supreme Verdict coming. If they attacked. Oh, actually, they have to attack, right? Because I mean, if they have Snapcaster, so be it. Okay, that's fine. Shuffle is definitely good for us. And that's the other reason why I didn't attack with the Arbor, right? Like, I want the mana. There's a big difference between 6 mana and 4. Oh my god, what a bomb draw. If we steal this game, oh my goodness. Let's go is definitely right. Oh my god. Like, we're drawing absolute bombs here. I think that might have got us the win here. Obviously, I'm going through it a little bit quickly. Hey, how's it going, Centeno? We are, doing God's work here. I think here it's actually this is the line that a lot of people miss, I think, and I think the correct line here is visionary to keep going, and because because it also nets us three mana with the heritage druid, right? Oops, that was a mistake. I thought. Uh, Shuffle there, library, in case they have a Snapcaster. I mean, you put good cards in your deck to draw them, right? Like, we ran out of mana, but that's okay. Like, drawing absolute haymakers there. Might be game. Yeah. Wow. I did not think we were winning this game because of how far we were set back on their turn 3 with the Narset. But my goodness, this deck what's got closed deck. Like, this is what I mean, right? You don't need to actually drop your deck. Most of the time it's gonna be fine. Alright. Now we know what we're up against. I think the fact that they're playing the Timeless Dragon means that they're not on the Undoing combo. They're probably just like the, Waffle Toffa controlless. Debatable whether we want Endurance or not. Yeah, we did, for whatever it's worth, to be fair, we did flood out a little bit first before those draws. I don't even remember what they have. Like, I'm debating whether we want to bring in Seas or I feel like this is a Seas matchup instead of an Endurance matchup. We'll see. Thank you for the follow, Tree Roy 6670. They have like one, I think. Like we didn't see any home breachers, right? I mean, unfortunately, we saw it out of Delver there, which is quite annoying. But I think this is how we want to board, though. Probably don't want the endurance, to be fair. The heritage, like we didn't see a snuff out, but I think I'm okay with the way this list is. Like the one heritage is nice to combo. I do cut glimpses. And against I think the Undoing deck, or like if they're playing the Hull Breachers as well, I probably think it might be correct now to cut those in that matchup. But I think here we probably I cut it a lot in a lot of endurance matchups, where combo endurance matchups. So like Doomsday, Reanimator, where I just don't want to tap out, right? Like Reclaimer's up or whatnot. There is more information on my Patreon, but if you don't want to subscribe, I have an older version of my sideboard map on Discord. So, or if you really want, you can reach out to me and we can work something out if payment is an issue. Actually, I should have got a Bayou. That was a mistake. Um, I think the Visionary is just too good here not to take. A slight mistake by me. I should got a Bayou, but not the end of the world given they got a basic. These decks will try to back to basics me. I don't know why. Like, I guess they feel that's the way they can cheese a win. I don't know. I think given that they have two basics here, I'm gonna play it safe and get another basic. 1 second. Answering the wife. Probably as a fair, probably a nice set here to be honest. Yeah, it's like obnoxious gameplay. Again, we're just like so far behind here. Sure. That's actually good for us. I like the doomsday scenario, so to speak, is if they can protect that and then with like removal, right? Like they have like an ending and like a STP in their hand or something. Like that's probably like really bad for us. Like it was kind of like that game two. I'm sorry, game one, but they've got two supreme verdicts. Jesus Christ. That means we cannot afford. Um, well, actually, maybe not. We have two glimpses, so we're gonna try to power through the supreme verdict by just going harder, right? I think here we probably play the reclaimer first. We don't want to expose the heritage druid in case they have like one removal spell. All right. We want to keep in the glimpse chain as long as we possible. So that means one drops prioritize over two drops. Wow. Okay. And actually, we don't even care anymore about their supreme verdict because I think as long as we can keep within this glimpse chain, we're drawing two for every turn. So we're actually gonna outmuscle their supreme verdict here, which is crazy to think about, right? The green sun here is like clutch too. You should cancel. All right. I think what we can do is just take one supreme verdict. They use the other one. Yeah. So we'll do it that way. Honestly, we don't think I care at this moment about their supreme verdict. Like honestly, I think despite them having two supreme verdicts off the Narset, I think we won already. I think we can cut bait with the cradles. Definitely at least one. And the second one represents an arbor. I probably think I want access to that. And I think the power level of the second cradle is just too good not to play. Actually, we'll cut a land. That's fine. They're gonna supreme here. I don't think we care. Um, I'm debating whether to keep the visionary or the. I think I want the speed mana, so I think the birch lore. And then I'm gonna lead with Seize and see what they do. I think here we take the Jace. I don't think we care about anything else. And then we're gonna like pick them apart now. How to do this? I think if we glimpse here, we can wait a turn. That's fine. They're not. That's actually an insane draw. So this goes down to one, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll do it that way. That's fine. Pretty sure the game's over. Don't care. They're gonna force a negation that. That's fine. I don't think we care. Sure. And then we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is a must force if they have this. Have a pitch. I think here we can attack for a lot. There's really no rush. It's like the gravy on top, right? I think we even want to draw out the force that they have, right? Like there's no real reason. I'll do it this way. If they want to force it, go ahead. Here we're actually getting we're getting the grist, and we're gonna have to make them fight on 2 axes. So they're dead men walking. That's actually why we didn't hardcast Hoof too, right? To play around the removal. They probably kept a blue pitch, right? Oh, but it's not gonna matter. We're gonna go up into Hoof. Yeah. Yeah. There's against these control decks, right? There, aside from the turns where they Narset and we can't take it down, you can just pick them apart the way we did here. But yeah, I think Jeskai control might be the reason to play elves at the moment, where they don't really have as many combo elements because that makes them worse against blue red. Like maybe they have the one undoing. Hey, how's it going, Wally? How's it going? We just like picked apart our opponent right now. The a Jeskai control player, and I think that's probably the reason to play elves at the moment because they're quite popular to prey on the Delver decks because they've gone down the undoing combo. Keep. And we are like significantly favored against them, in my opinion. The thing is, you have to be patient and know how to like stress the resources the way we did. Namely, the turn with natural order, we just got a grist because that what you want is for your board to not be answered by one card, right? You don't want to have like Supreme Verdict empty your board. So, ooh, okay, it is the mirror. Lewis, come on. Don't particularly like this matchup because it's like so coin flippy. Um, Also, they are slightly faster than us, although typically that's not relevant unless they have the exact turn two. The issue is more so like it's a coin flip whoever's on the play, which have favored us, but also who has turn three natural order, which we don't at the moment. So we're gonna have to like hope they don't kill us on their turn three. Notably, Nettle, if these were Nettle Sentinels, it wouldn't do anything here anyways. Lewis, come on. I know, bud. So my dog's probably hungry. That would be my guess why he's like coming to me right now. I will after this match here. I will take a quick break. Ugh. Okay, my wife just got home, but I was gonna feed him otherwise, and then two. If anything, I would go to three. I don't think one is correct at all, Wally. I was on three for a while, but then I think given that we're playing Snuff Out, I wanted to have them, more the consistency. Again, they had like this mini turn two here, right? But I'm willing to lose to this if that's what it takes. Like I don't really care. You're not gonna run into this deck much in the tournament or that version. Thank you for the follow, the Yoda. Sure, we'll F6. They can do whatever they want here. We're dead, unfortunately. Like, got to be at least one natural order in that hand of six now, or a second glimpse. And outside of a cradle here, actually, so we have an outs. Four cradles would be on out here to steal this game. So 4 out of 50. You're talking about less than 10%, but I mean, so you're saying there's a chance, right? Ugh, that makes it harder. Nope, we did not get there. The line there was hit the cradle and then be forced to be priced into natural order for Archon. But now we're probably just dead. You, I can feed him. Just give me a second though. What is going on? Good old Nettle Sentinel. So for those of you who are curious, I mentioned in my Patreon, like the most recent. I'll bring it back up, but here's the post. This is a free post, by the way, to celebrate my what is it called? To celebrate my 2-year anniversary recently of winning the showcase qualifier, but one of the frequently asked questions is, "Oh, what do you? How do I get you to play Nettle Sentinel again?" You can either donate to or subscribe to the deck donation tier, or I will play it on April 1st, right? Dog's name is Lou or Lewis. Thank you, Corridor. Or Carador. It's probably the correct. Alright, now we're dead. I was just waiting for them to kill us. I mean, there's like a 1% chance they just like hit all lands or something. But I just assumed that we were dead. Alright, now it's time to pack it in. We needed to have the fourth land there. Unfortunately, we didn't, have it to natural order for Archon to maybe give us a chance, right? But wasn't meant to be, unfortunately. I think we can board out Glimpse, given that they're like all in the combo. Sorry, not Glimpse, Gris. Obviously, the Thought Seizers are really good here. So is a Snuff Out. I think we can board out Visionary and a Warwood, because this matchup is all about speed. When they're on the combo version, right, or the super combo version. I don't think Duress is probably worth it given Allosaurus Shepherd at the moment, and I don't like Mindbird Trap. It's like easily played around, especially on the play. I don't think we want it. Hoof is definitely still necessary. They can beat us without it. Actually, do I want this? This is kind of whatever, I think. So hands we're looking for is either natural order or actually it's probably okay. I would never consider cutting cuff in the mirror because they can beat an Archon, right? They can go wide. Part of me thought about mulling this hand, but I think it's probably okay. Yikes. That's an awful top deck. I mean, awful draw in this case. We could still technically Green Sun, what is it called? For Archon. So there's that. But we needed to hit a creature there, like pretty badly. And unfortunately, the Once Upon a Time let us down. So that's the other reason why I don't want to mull to Thoughtseize or Natural Order. They can just um, have a discard spell anyways. Yeah, you can do double Cradle shenanigans, especially if they have a more reactive hand like this. Or a tempo negative hand, I should say. Interesting that they took the Shepherd. That is like completely wrong in my opinion. Argument to be made actually, we got the Cradle, but like that lines on top decking the Natural Order. We can still top deck Natural Order here, but it's a well, I guess it's not it's the same. I boarded out the Gris HC Fox. I don't think against this version it's good. It's better in the complete mirror, in the pseudo mirror. Looks like it's gonna be an Arbor, yeah. We're not gonna Gris it for the Biscuit HC Fox, unfortunately. I'm doing it this way in case we draw into a Thoughtseize. And then I think this attack is somewhat free. There's no way they're blocking. This is what I mean, right? Like we can't disrupt them, but like this version like loses to a sneeze. Like and in this day and age, Legacy, um, you either want to be super fast, which this deck is not, but also super resilient, and I don't think it does either, right? Like it's faster than us, but not enough to warrant, playing worser cards. Okay, well, there's a sneeze. We'll see if that's gonna. Like it doesn't have the dark ritual hands like that some of the other decks has, but then doesn't have the resiliency. So like I don't know what meta share you're gonna do well in, right? It can't outgrind like a lands deck, for instance. And you're playing elves that can be picked apart, especially by Delver, right? Sure, that's probably Heritage or Nettle if I were to guess. And they may try to go Glimpse here, yeah. I think they're probably gonna Glimpse here, and then we're probably gonna lose, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think what happens is like, um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I get asked all the time, like, oh, why Reclaimer over Nettle Sentinel? I think that phrasing of the question is actually a misnomer. That's kind of like asking, oh, why play Brainstorm over Seer and Visions? Because Reclaimer is not the last card to make the deck. It's the strongest elf in the deck. and I see people, not playing it for what I consider like Searing Visions, right? Which I think this card is like significantly worse than Korean Ranger, which is significantly worse than like Shepherd, and which is worse than like Reclaimer. I mean, it plays out differently. I wouldn't say it's a different deck, but I mean, if you say that, I'm not gonna like complain too much. But this card is just win more, in my opinion, in this day and age for Legacy at least. All right, we have to try to go off now. Uh-huh. I think we have lethal otherwise, so I'm gonna do it this way. So if I attack right now, that's more than lethal. We'll do it. I don't. I mean, if we get blown out by Mindbird Trap, like it is what it is here. Um. I mean, they don't. The black count is not high enough to run it, unfortunately. Although it's pretty cool force, but yeah, you don't have the black count high enough. Uh, there's like some merit, I think, maybe for like discard on the draw, but let me think. Do I want to play additional discard here on the draw? Possible. I think, yeah, I think we probably want to give us a chance to steal the game on the draw here, and we're just playing more interaction, and hopefully trying to bridge us to the end game, right? Like where our card quality like matters. We can set up a natural order more easily through disruption. That's pretty good. Yeah, the one Mindbreak Trap. It's like a flex slot. I probably will cut it like pretty soon. I think we are favored against combo. We haven't run into. Well, I guess this is like pseudo combo, right? This is a pretty good hand. Yeah, that's accurate. We're gonna go turn one seize, and then hopefully they don't have like the nuts or something where it just doesn't matter, and then work our way towards the natural order. There's like some merit to not seize on turn one if they don't have like ramp, but I think we kind of have to play it safe. We just assume they have ramp, right? Like all the time. Yeah. See. So we're gonna seize turn one, so they don't just like you know accidentally draw into like a million if they have a glimpse hand. This is like super awkward. Because they can go turn two, like play a dork or something, and then green sun. Well, I don't know because they can like hard cast hoof like not too long from here. We can play the percentages too, but then we like risk dying. Oh my god. If they have like a creature here, it'd be 2, 4. Maybe they're pretty far away from hook. We'd be taking a chance for sure. Did they mull? Let me see. This is actually hard, I think. It's not too hard to cast the hoof with double Cradle mana, is what I'm afraid of. I think we have to go for the high upside play and take the green sun. That's actually, yeah. Hopefully they just whiff, right? Or hoof like doesn't is not lethal. So it looks like they whiffed. G is Z is hoof +1 or value. I mean they could have Archon, we don't know, right? Could be a Boseiju too, but hard to say. I think we just play the thing just in case. And hope they just miss again, right? Fuck. This is what I mean. Now we're like we open ourselves up to Hardcast Hoof next turn. Granted we have the Boseiju, but their hand was this is why I don't like taking the green sun, right? Like if they just draw lucky, the glimpses kills us, but I think we're just screwed it regardless because of that hand. I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to Boseiju their Cradle so they can't hardcast it as easily, and then hope Natural Order is lethal on the following turn. Yeah, we got like pretty bit. I think I will say we got a little bit punished by not taking the glimpse there. I think you kind of have to. Well, if they visionary is tough too, right? They can just like build towards a natural hoof as well. Hard either way. Hmm. Actually, it's not gonna matter. I just realized because they can hardcast it regardless. So we're just dead. We just have to. Yeah, we're painful to lose to this. Yeah, I think, man, I think it's definitely wrong not to take the hoof now. Like, I know Chad thought it was easy decision to take the green sun, but I just think we lose, right, with the double cradle. Because with two natural order, we can get an Archon and shut them off. So I think we just misplayed that. All right, I'm gonna take a quick restroom break and then come back. I also gotta feed the dog too, so I'll bring up my list again, but I'll be back. Did you feed Luke? Okay. All right, I am back. I thought about it some more. The game that we just transpired right now. I think we probably lose regardless. I think that hand, because of the double cradle, was pretty immune to regardless of what we take. Because if we took the glimpse, they eventually huff us anyways. If we take the huff, what probably happens is, which is the line I wanted to take, right? What probably happens if they play it correctly, but we have to assume they play correctly. They probably green sun for two on that turn, on that subsequent turn, turn two, and then that will allow them to glimpse probably the next turn, and then they could whiff, but I suspect what's gonna happen is we get put into a position where we have to natural order for Archon, and then what ends up happening, I think, is they probably eventually find either the natural hoof or the visionary plus Waterwood. Excuse me, gotta eat. But we probably lose anyways. But that assumes our opponent plays correctly and assumes a few other things. I think the list is fine. I didn't really have any issues with the list. I think we just got, unfortunately, like sometimes that happens, right? In the mirror, or pseudo mirror, I guess. Their hand is like impervious to, or mostly impervious to discard. But we have to keep that hand, I think, regardless. But it's okay. Excuse me. Like I said, this is only possible because of my wife. She got food for me so I can stream. Pretty good hand. Yeah, so that's the thing too, Wally. I think Delver actually is a hard matchup for most elf players at the moment. I think like my win rate is like pretty decent, but the thing is, the elf player kind of has to play perfectly. I just think a lot of people have trouble playing this deck in general. I joke it's kind of like the new Doomsday because I feel most elf pilots can beat everything but Delver. This is kind of a neat trick. I'm gonna rampant growth by using the reclaimer to get an arbor. Sometimes they screw up too and waste and target my cradle. Luke, come on. Luke, stop. I think here, given that they didn't do anything, I'm just gonna pass. Like, and now they run the risk of just, yeah. So they got scared. They run the risk of essentially me killing them now, right? That plays around removal into bolt or days. One nice thing about topping out, I can eat, right? I think it's got to be the Bayou actually. This felt good, I think overall. I know, right? It's we're just like the card disadvantage twice already, with the Wasteland, and the Boseiju. I think it's over. Like honestly. This is lethal on board. Gristlet for the biscuit is probably what you're thinking of. I think here we can just like we dig for the cradle because that's lethal. I mean, there it is, right? And here I'm not gonna like try to accidentally mill my own hoof, but this game was never really close. I don't know what's going on that side, but I feel like this is just band control with a loan package. So I'm just gonna board in the endurances. Yeah. So that's actually like something I see newer elf players do. They'll just like +1 automatically, and then that's actually most of the time it won't matter, but that's actually leaving an opening for your opponent if you screw up, right? And I think this is like pretty reasonable. It has happened to me where I, plus and milled the hoof before, but usually not on the natural order turn. It's because I'm building towards the natural order board state. So something to keep in mind also is it's probably the best feeling when you mill a card you don't want to draw. Also, the worst feeling to mill a card you do want to draw. We just want to fetch basics. That's actually one of the beauties of nice. That's actually really good. That's the 4th land drop though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Cradle. It's just too good not to play, I think. And then we're gonna run out the Druid. I've had a new elf pilot ask me like, how in the world does control beat turn 3 Cradle? Like, this thing's like almost like cloud pose against them, right? They don't really beat it. You just drown them card advantage, right? I think here I'm just gonna ramp. Hmm. 2 mana we can't attack because it could be multiple things: Containment Priest, Snapcaster, Ice Fang potentially. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely harder, but I think it's actually pretty good still. But it does require like Thoughtseize is pretty important in that matchup. Yeah, I fed him. Can you give me a napkin? But I already fed him. You can give him a little more if you want. Yeah. How much did you give him? Like pretty good amount. Okay. Thank you. Luke, come here. Sure. I just don't think this is like a winning line against me, right? That's a must force if they have it. I mean, I get what they have no choice too. That's the other thing, right? I think here there's really no rush, and I don't think I want to just like walk into a potential sweeper, so I'm just gonna pass. Cradle is the reason why Control has such a hard time against elves right now because they just can't stop this, right? It's. I jokingly said to my Cabal, this is like Cloud Post. All right, we kind of saw this coming, but pretty, I think, pretty good overall. Deal 3 for 2. I don't think we mind. And then here we obviously can get another Arbor. Oops, no more Arbors. I think here we can just play the Shepherd and then pass. I think the game's probably over already. Sure. This is why I like Endurance a lot in the matchup because it's like 1 for 1 essentially with Uro, right? Or 2 for 2, whatever you want to call it. Ugh, that's the worst. I think here, I'll probably just play a land drop, blue stop. I don't think they're gonna do anything on upkeep, so it's kind of free to just Endurance here. Blue stop. Not to mention they're tapped out, like in case they like swords into plow or something. Sorry, swords into force. Obviously, we still have the second Endurance, but we don't want to use it. We don't need to. They're probably gonna ending that. Yeah, I don't think we care. Yeah, there's also Snapcaster. I think we bash here. There's two things we can do here. We can either Gris, which is like actually pretty solid here, or we can Green Sun for Wirewood, and then like start bleeding them out again. I actually think I like that. And then at least feign that we're at Thought Season. The problem with Gris on that board state is it just gets no value if they have ending, especially with the library. Correct, Mike. We have no more fetchables, but we have to at least threaten like we could, right? And the good thing is Reclaimer can turn into Cradle if need be. Sure. I think here it rewards us to draw into a Cradle to bounce the Visionary, so I'll do that. Wow, okay, that's quite the draw. And then I'm gonna bash with the Endurance. In case they want to brains, I'm gonna do this on upkeep actually. Actually, I screwed up. In case I screwed up. If that's a force, I just lose. I should have done it on their turn. We could endurance ourselves, but not with the Uro on the side in the yard there. That does come up a lot, by the way, Mike. The endurance ourselves, so our fetchables are live, especially in these kind of grindier games. That's like punt right there. I'm gonna do that. Punt count number 1 today. We needed to do that on our turn in case they had the last card there was force. Sure. I think we'll slowly get there, but we'll get there when we get there. I think here we just like glimpse, right? It's a must force. Here, in a glimpse chain, you want to use your Wow, okay, that's actually pretty neat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna endurance myself here, I think, and turn on these fetches. Pitch that. That's dead. Given that we drew the Cradle here, I think I want to keep them off the Supreme Verdict now. I was gonna do it myself if I didn't draw the Cradle. Well, now we can just do it all, right? Like, I think here we can pitch the once. Actually, did we bounce? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it this way. And then pass turn. This game is, for all intents and purposes, probably over. I'm not even gonna bounce here. I have pressure. We'll see what they have. I'm gonna play the fetch out here, so that makes it so they have to block all 3. They have to have 2 answers essentially. Because the Reclaimer, they have to have 2 answers here, yeah. Oh, that's annoying. Sure. Sure. What that means now is we can just like natural or safely for. Well, actually, we don't have the Progenitus, but sure. There's like so many ways we can do it here, but I think the correct way is to play some visionaries. I believe Supreme Verdict is coming. And that's why they attacked there. What in the world is going on? Yeah, alright. That's easy enough. Yeah, this matchup is just a nightmare for control decks. We played a few matches so far against control, and they haven't really been particularly close. We have been in some dicey situations, but we got out of it. And then once you get out of it, it's like not a big deal. I think the scariest is turn 3 Narset while we're on the draw, because it's hard to take it down if they have all removal. But I think besides that, I'm not really scared of anything besides maybe the Undoing combo. But if they have that, and against Jeskai, I'm already boarding in Thoughtseize anyways, so it's probably okay. The information from Thoughtseize is also huge. And depending on the board state, I will not even take Supreme Verdict a lot of times if I can beat it. Case in point, if I have a Grist, I'll take their Force of Will. Another thing is if I have Wildwood Visionary, like they can't just sit back. I promise I'm almost done with dinner. Bear with me a little bit more. There we go. Put this away as this is still loading. I'm gonna get water.
Lou, stop. I don't know what's going on. Why the queue is so long right now? It's not like we're at 4-0 or something. We're just 1-0. It's very strange. Lou off. Chlorophon. I feel like this is like a painter player or something. Like the username looks familiar. It could be Reanimator too. That is a great question, Sadra. I personally don't know, and the reason being is because I don't think I've ever played a Saturday challenge. Um, I think part of the problem with the Saturday challenges was at a point where they stopped firing because of the time. Everybody collectively thought, oh, it's not gonna fire, so they don't even try. I suspect it's probably okay, but I mean, you don't know, I guess, right? We don't know for sure. I would imagine it's probably okay though. The Saturday challenges. This is like super awkward for us. We're playing against lands, and unfortunately, we just like couldn't play the Visionary turn two, and then drew a very bad card there, right? We kept admittedly a slower hand, but um, drawing kind of poorly at the moment. I'm gonna stretch my neck out here a little bit. So it looks like it's lands with a saga package. And we don't want to thin here because we want to just draw into lands. Sure. Yikes. Alright. I think the thing is like the banning of only Ragavan by itself actually hurt the meta because the decks that typically are good against Delver by default got worse against it because Ragavan typically, especially against like elves for instance, typically not the best or more of a liability against these kind of decks, especially elves and D&T. Um, but so I think what they needed to do from the start was ban if you're gonna ban Ragman because people don't enjoy it. I think that's fine, but I think they needed to ban another card in addition to it. Their reasoning was okay at the time, where they said, "Well, if need be, we'll ban another card." But I think it was obvious that Delver was gonna get better as a result of the ban because their natural predators got weakened, right, by default. Exactly right. Like before, it's like either lose to the mirror or not lose, but be disadvantaged in the blue mirror, or lose to the non-blue decks, right? Like the Aether Vial decks and the elves, green white depths, lands, etc. I think we're probably just like screwed here. We kept kind of a loose hand, admittedly, so that's maybe my fault. Um, but nevertheless, we needed to really hit that third land drop to shut off their Mox Diamonds, right? And their Shadow Sphere. So it's gonna be bad for us. I don't remember what we drew off the top, but definitely two natural orders is not where we want to be as well. So definitely defensible if we mulligan that hand. I didn't want to mulligan because in general I don't want to, but I think there might have been incorrect not to. They're probably gonna tabernacle us because I think that's what land splitters like to do. Yep. We're not gonna give them the satisfaction and just concede to it. I know some elf players will. I do think we can beat it, just probably not with his hand is all. Yeah, it's annoying. It feels bad, but I'm just gonna have to do it here. We have to get the cradle out. Like I said, it feels really bad, but we can't win this game without cradle, so we're just gonna have to do that. All right, that's a start. We're probably still in pretty big trouble, but more of a fighting chance at the moment. Like, do some stretches because my neck hurts. They likely port us, which is fine. Um, we're probably like 5% chance to win this game, anyways. Post port it gets better, especially game one. I didn't know what they were on. Just the username obviously looked familiar. I just didn't, you know, register with me what they were on. Is all. Sure. In these situations, I appreciate the once upon a time, so I can hit a land right. We're not blocking, so might as well attack. Not to mention, it messes with us if they equip the Shadow Sphere, so there's really no need. I actually think what the best case scenario here is because I don't know if because I do think Delver existing is actually good for the format. What I would like to see is actually the control decks be better. Because the issue right now is control has a hard time. They're stretched too thin. Like they have a horrible L's matchup. They have a horrible 8 cast matchup. And if they want to beat Delver, they have to cut some of their wombo combo things like undoing. But that hurts their combo matchups, right? Like they're just in a tough spot, I think. And I would not mind more elements for control decks, which is why I personally don't have an issue with prismatic ending. I know some people think it homogenizes deck building, which it does to an extent, but it keep in mind ending only trades even on mana at best. So I would actually like to see control decks get more tools to keep up with policing multiple things at a time, right? I think here we just pay for both. We're probably gonna hit the arbor, I would imagine. Yeah. We're gonna have to chump block here, but I think that's fine. If they want to equip their shadow sphere, it's also fine. We should be able to. So we're gonna whatever doesn't have trample, the visionary is gonna block. And if they choose to, equip with the shadow sphere, which just okay, yeah, I guess you can call me on that. Unbanned Sensei's Divine Talk. I still have nightmares from from that era, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Control, get a tick up, right? Like, I think that's like pretty unbiased, right? I'm not even saying advocate more like things for elves or whatever, or
I can't comment or not whether that's accurate, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think obviously one of the cards that was good in control was like dig through time. Uh, Another one was Sensei's Divine Type, which is like good for some other combo decks. Um, the decks that prey on control tend to be the ones that lose to Delver. I guess currently, if you want to include elves in that, you can. I'm like, even me, I'm like 50% probably at the moment against Delver. And that's, having more reps than other people. He did, yeah, consumes all is pretty good. But yeah, that's also, I guess, if you consider that good against control. But I personally, yeah, would think that would help the format if control just had more tools. I think some people want combo to be better. I don't think that's good for multiple reasons. Oh my god. I mean, we're gonna lose anyways, so that's fine. Now we're officially dead. Well played by our opponent, actually. That's like pretty tight sequencing. All right, it's gonna get better, I promise. Well, I don't think it could be as bad as it was at the moment, right? Like, but we do have some bombs in the sideboard for this matchup. I think we don't want like we know they're gonna bring in their spheres, and I don't think Glimpse is the answer. We don't really have anything else, so I think we just keep the Kharkiv. We're all in essentially on natural order in this matchup. The issue with consumes all is it doesn't beat 8 casts. Because of Cannon Capaneer or whatever it's called, Kappa Cannoneer. The other thing about control is I do think their pilots tend to be. Oops. I do think the pilots the deck builders are a little bit not imaginative enough. What I mean by that is like they just play a lot of times their pet cards and they're just like random good stuff dot deck, and I don't think that cuts a legacy anymore. Personally, keep. I don't know if Edict is good enough personally. I could be wrong. But my guess why it wouldn't be good enough is because they have Psi and like making Thopters or whatnot, right? Or constructs. All right, this is like pretty. If we have a one drop here, not the one drop I was thinking of, but close enough. I think here we actually just do this to cut off their Mox Diamond like nonsense. Obviously, they have a Cradle here. It's super annoying. All right, this is like easy mode, right? I don't think it gets easier than what just happened here. Honestly, the hand that they kept seems a little loose, right? Didn't do anything on turn one. Turn two, this is like kind of slow on the draw. I mean, not even well played, right? Like more like potentially a shaky keep by. Did our opponent mulligan? Yeah, it just seemed like a shaky keep by our opponent. The number one way to win this matchup is Progenitus. We didn't even need to do it there because they like, didn't port our Cradle, right? Which is like cardinal sin. I think we have to keep this hand. It is a little bit shaky, but I think overall okay. Obviously, ideally this is a basic, but I mean, what can you do?
it's matchups like this where the run of foul actually shows its strength because it answers merit Age pretty, at instant speed, right? Obviously we lost because our opponent had the hull breacher in the first league, and we couldn't run a foul it, but maybe that's something we live with, and definitely not the majority, right? That's true. I don't know how many depths they still have. It's possible that I think they still have it, but like we don't have anything that I don't think Glimpse is very good in this matchup, anyways. Yeah, the mulch list I think is I guess different. I would keep glimpses in that match. They don't have spheres, for instance. I don't know what's going on with our opponent here, though. I think here we probably just want the mana, honestly. Like ramping is just always good, I think. Oh, interesting that they kept that in. Oops, cancel. At least they cancel. They trapped a one drop instead of something more relevant. Triple Saga, interesting. I think here we probably bounce, I would think. I don't want to lose my Cradle yet. My other one, I mean, in case it matters. That's fine. They want to needle the Waterwood. I think I'm probably okay with that. Actually, no, I think we want to dig. We probably want to dig towards like a natural water kill. Excuse me. So, probably still right to bounce. Excuse me. It looks like they're gonna make another construct before. It might get Shadow Sphere too. We'll see. Lois, go to mama. Yeah, okay, so they got Needle. I guess they're playing it safe. I'm actually not kind of happy they did that, actually. Looks like the other one got Map, which is probably going to get a Wasteland. I think I'm also okay with that. This is not. This is pretty good for us, actually, at the moment. Like, I don't think we care about the construct at the moment. They're like losing lands, right? They have no way to recur at the moment.
We'll obviously pay because we have the Cradle in hand. Wait, what is going on? Oh, I went through it. I should have attacked for one, but that's okay. I don't think that the one damage is gonna matter. Yeah, this is going nowhere for our opponent. Like we didn't really do much to be honest. Like they just lost to their own sagas, right? Why is that, Wally? Like it's funny they had the tabernacle, it's just like not do anything, right? Because we have the cradle to offset it. Mm. This is almost like a mull to five already. Oh my god, this is even worse. I think we have to keep this though. Oh, man. I didn't keep that other hand because the Archon was there, and then we just didn't have a second land draw, right? Like a lot could go wrong. I think here, I think the Cradle is well. I think we take the land. It's probably just too good not to take. Yeah, they lost to themselves. Not like we had some pressure. Don't get me wrong, but like they lost more to themselves than anything else. Oh my god. Speaking of losing to yourself, it's times like this where like, oh my god, it had to be against Delver too, where we just draw awkwardly. Against other decks, we can recover from this. Harder to do against that deck. Oh man. Like you hope this happens against like a control deck or something. Ooh, they're giving us a chance. They are giving us a chance. They just 0 for 2 themselves for just a scry. Wow. But I mean, better lucky than good. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, they're obviously new then. I'll take it though because it sucks to have this happen against Delver. Like against control, you might be able to recover, but it's very difficult to do against Delver. The irony is, I think we're still gonna lose. The irony is, I think we're still gonna lose. Like I said, because this hand is just so bad. Their sequencing has been really shaky too, right? Because well, I guess no. What they should have done was iteration first before waste, right? And then that way, if they draw a wasteland, they could save the one in their hand. But I mean,
probably still gonna lose. Sure. Best topic here is a Cradle, so we can endurance stuff. Thank you for the subscription, Pat. That's awesome. Super appreciative of that, Pat. Might still be okay. We'll see. That bog actually is kind of relevant. Yeah, that bog is quite relevant. Oh my god, another wasteland. At least they're not flipping the Delver. That's like one good thing. But I think we're probably still dead. That's actually quite the draw. I think we play the long game here and get a reclaimer. There's merit for an arbor, but a lot can still go wrong, right? Like I want to get Cradle. The arbor still loses to Bolt, right? I'm just doing that for the scry, I think. I mean, it does, but like, what can you do, right? They've already used two wastelands, so I'm thinking the Cradle is gonna be unlocked. Obviously, we draw another land. We could have natural order, but then that's not lethal anyways. So I mean, I don't typically play around two cards. Like, I will play around one, but I'm not gonna play around like this plus this, for instance. I think the best draw here is actually a fetch land. Arbor is not bad too. The reason being is the reclaimer is gonna be is gonna get Cradle, and then we can set up a natural order lethal. We shouldn't even be in this game, to be honest. Like given our draws, right? This is the issue with the natural order package. Like it's very good, except potentially against Delver, where you cannot really recover against when you draw something like this. You can against the other decks, but against Delver, it's very hard to recover game one. Oh my god, a third waste. Oh shoot. Like they had two already. I think it's correct not to play around the wasteland there. That doesn't change the clock, I believe. This is absolutely brutal. Our opponent misplayed, and we're gonna lose anyways. Um, Our opponent needed to attack with both there, in case the last card is bolt. That's actually insane. I think we might steal this. Wow. We should have lost this game big time. That's not gonna do anything. Oh well, it could like trigger. Well, that's annoying. Nope. Yeah, fourth wasteland there is kind of funny, right? We stole this game highway robbery style. Our opponent threw actually on the previous turn. They needed attack with both, and we absolutely have to block because of bolt. Or we take the chance, I guess. I mean, and put us at two, but I get their reasoning. We probably can't afford to block there anyways. Like we probably lose, right? But I feel like we just got away with highway robbery. Like at on the on turn two we had Archon sorry, natural order Archon in our hand. I just thought, okay, this is a loss, but they threw big time with the force, right? Yeah, this is where the matchup really starts. Like we're supposed to win game one outside of like the disaster that happened there. Games two and three, I think, is like very intricate, and like we have to play ultra tight. Unfortunately, I keep cannot have hands with actual green sources. It feels very bad. Actually, I think we keep one visionary to try to get into the game, but I don't think we can keep two. That's another interesting thing. No turn one play. Like you just hope these kind of games are not against Delver. You hope that they're against control players, right? Where you can actually recover in a long game, or against combo too. It's like typically it doesn't matter, like because those matchups are dictated on a few certain things. Thank you for the subscription, OMG Mock. For those who don't know, that's another friend of mine, Dennis. So yeah, appreciate the subscriptions today, for sure. I know, right? Here are my socials too, for those who care. Oops. Hey David, how's it going? So here we're gonna leave with a wirewood, I think, if they want to daze it. It sets them back. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think we leave with a wirewood there in case that happens, because if they do daze it, then we don't want the reclaimer dazed. Also, we don't want to reveal immediately that the Cradle would have made mana, so for whatever that's worth. Similar thing here, right? We're gonna leave with the wirewood in case they daze us here. Sure. It's unfortunate though that we had to vote a five to start this game. Otherwise, I actually feel good the way this game has played out. If we just had what is it called? If we had just had more cards to start off with, right? But even though with a higher land count, man, we're still mulliganing. Like no land in the the 7, and then only Cradles, I think, in the 6, if I remember correctly. Here, I think we run the Visionary out. Okay, that's pretty good. Normally, if I have a lot of card payoff spells or creatures, I would actually once there for land, but we don't. We already mold a 5, and that's why I was okay with Visionary there. I do. I root for the Clippers. They are out of the playoffs, unfortunately. I think right now of the teams remaining, I'm a little partial, I guess, to the Bucks because I do like Giannis. Which team? I think Philadelphia, if they lose to the Raptors and they choked away the 3-0 lead, would be hilarious. But I think other than that, I don't really care. Like, I like good basketball, so regardless of what happens, I think I'll be okay in most situations. Bobbling. This is like really interesting from our opponent. I don't think we can actually, even if we win this match, I don't think we can actually do Rookie of the Year. I think it was given to what's his name, right? Scotty Barnes. Yeah, I like it's. I think even if we win, I don't think we can really count this as a win against Delaware. I don't think our opponent is like doesn't seem like they are heads up in this matchup, right? I don't know. I think yeah, K definitely the highest upside. Mobley was pretty good too, for what it's worth. I, I definitely didn't expect. What is going on? I definitely didn't expect whatever to win it. Barnes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought Barnes had a good year, but definitely did not think that was coming. Uh, what do I care about here? I feel like there could be an end of festivities pretty soon. Probably want that. Well, we can still snuff with Birch Lore for what it's worth. It almost feels like they have end of festivities coming, so I'm just gonna play it safe. There's like no pressure either. I actually don't want more lands, right? Sure, I'm okay with that. That actually is good news because I think that means they don't have end of festivities. Probably a Murktide coming soon, if I were to guess. Um, sure. If only you could snuff there. Yeah. So they're gonna have a bolt, which is fine. Um, I definitely think I want, especially with a payoff in hand. I just want to. If they're not gonna pressure us, I just want to dink and dunk our way to chip damage, right? And I actually want them to waste here because this Cradle here is kind of stranded at the moment. Ooh, that is a good draw. We know they have a bolt, so for whatever that's worth, I think we're gonna have to do it here. Uh, what do you mean? Are there any?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on the other side, but they're just letting us go off here, or semi go off. They probably. I don't care about that actually. Um, I don't think I'm gonna play around another days. If they have it, they have it. I need to keep this to play around Wasteland, which there's none of yet. Are there any? Force the Vigor is the big one, Sage. I think is what you're asking. I'm trying to think what else comes off the top of my head. This is also incredible. I think as far as old green free spells, I don't think there's anything left besides Force of Vigor probably. I think Trap is like super narrow. What else? Free spells obviously very broken, but I'm trying to think what else we would want. I do not think there is probably another card, but I could be wrong. We Moto 5? Was this the game we Moto 5? I think it was, yeah. So there's the Murktide. Um, which is okay, I think. I think we definitely play the one drop out first for mana. I'm okay with that. Oops, cancel. I think here. I could pitch the Cradle, get an Arbor, and then that leaves me at 0 mana. Play the second one, that's 5, and then cast Snuff Out. I think I want to do that. Actually, the Bog here is pretty good too. Yeah, Wally's one step ahead of me. I kind of like that too. That's okay. And then we're gonna go in Snuff. We're not gonna play around Spell Pierce or whatever. No, like Delver is easy mode these days. Nobody plays skill intensive. Actually, we screwed that up. Okay, now we just lose to days. Which I think we have to hope they don't have. Yeah, so one bad thing about the Bog is it actually cut us off 1 mana. In hindsight, maybe that's okay. Like they used 2 days already. Actually 3. So I think that's probably okay. Oh my god, what a bomb. This might just be game, yeah. To be honest, I don't think this really counts as a win against Delver. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick restroom break and I'll be right back. I'll bring up the deck list again. I am back. One thing I want to mention actually is um, it's not free also to play the Assassin's Trophy, even though it's a better card than Run Afoul, because having to fetch black is an issue sometimes. And I think three is kind of the sweet spot for the number of black cards you want to run because that kind of limits the potential of drawing multiple black cards in your opening hand, which is a liability. So that is also one reason why I do run the runner fouls. Um, I'm trying to think. There's like this other card or some other cards that I have thought about, but green unfortunately is not the removal color. I think there's like a card, Ken Rip's transformation, that is like ever since it got printed has always intrigued me, but probably very narrow. There you go. Like that seems like a cool card, at least on the paper. We played against Spyman earlier, and hopefully they're not on that same deck because I just don't think that's very fun, right? I think probably the Reclaimer, right? Could do some cool things, get our Cradles online. We went 3-2 in our first league. We lost to Delver, which is annoying. Huh. Map, I wonder if they're on lands. No, that is the last card I want to draw. Actually, it's entirely possible we probably should just play the Gris. That was a mistake, I think, on my behalf. Although they do have the Wasteland, right? But I do think that's probably a mistake in hindsight. Interesting that they didn't do anything there. Actually, oh, I screwed up. I should not have attacked there. Because that could actually, yeah, that was a mistake on my behalf. And I'm messing up again right now. I better do it now. I should not have attacked because then I can actually have extra creature for Cradle mana. In case it is relevant. It could be, right? Like, this could be a Tabernacle here. Yep. The good thing is we have the Cradle to pay for it. The bad thing is I like screwed that up royally. Like well, I'm short a creature now, right? Like I need a top deck of creature. I mean that works. To be honest, I was like pretty sloppy this game. Like I know it worked out, but I got I made a mistake and it didn't get punished. Like the better play for me definitely would have been not attack, leave the mana up for Arbor, and then rotate. I got a little fortunate there to top deck the land, but it was sloppy for sure. We will see if the Runafows earn their keep here, right, so to speak, in this matchup. I think we're gonna cut the Grist too. This doesn't do anything. It's funny how Grist in some matches just single-handedly wins the game. And then in other matchups like this, where it's kind of a fair deck too, right? Like lands, but then just liability. I think ultimately still worth it because you can kill a Murktide or Emrakul. I've done that a few times. But, ooh, I do not think we can keep this hand. This is significantly better. We just bin the Shepherd. GD, do you want to watch Moon Knight later? Two Trops? What is going on? This is probably something that I'm not used to. That is incredibly obnoxious. One thing I could have done was play the Symbiote, bounce the Reclaimer. Like, there's merit for that because don't want to play that out yet. Then you get the Reclaimer up, right? But there's two Wastelands. I don't think it's worth it. I think we play this just in case. Like, they want to waste us, they can. But in case they, like, crop rotation right now. Sure. I'm playing around Endurance there, by the way. Like, some people just don't have cards to bring in or something, but they... This is horrific for us. If they have Endurance here, I don't think we actually care. Like, if they have it, they have it, I think. If they crop here, that's a problem. I don't think we... Well, I don't think we can play Scared. Okay, that's fine. Better that than on our natural order later on. Again, I don't think we can play scared. If they have, I don't. They should not be keeping endurance, but you never know. My hope is that they actually have the crop rotation when we have the run of foul up. They're not wasting us here. Is interesting. Yeah, they should. Beat down plan is in full effect. I actually think we are favored from here, but it's close. As crazy as that sounds, with their lock pieces, the second force is crucial, right? Like, what is going? Oh, it's probably a tabernacle. I think this is playing scared on their behalf, to be honest. If they get tabernacle, like I don't see how they win like anytime soon, and we're just gonna bash, if need be, a few a turn. They have one land. Like, there's a decent chance now that these two, well, maybe go the distance. We'll see, right? Sure. It's gonna be a whatever dozen clock turn or so, but we need to continue to hit land drops. I mean, there it is. I mean, we are getting close, like, and I don't think they're gonna present. Oh my god, that's annoying. They're gonna port us here, but I mean that's fine. This thing is a liability. Although to be fair, they would have been glimpses, and that's equally as bad. But I believe we are favored from here. We'll see if they port us. I, they might go for the win, which if I were in their shoes, probably would, right? Because well, I think we should still attack. Well, we probably don't attack so that they can make the merit lage. I want them to go for it here. So they did not, which is interesting. Then if they're not gonna go for it, I'm going to attack. Might have been correct to just attack previously, but we missed out. Actually, it probably was correct to attack previously. Because either we have the answer or we don't, right? Yeah, they are playing scared. Oh, I know what they're doing. They're trying to port us up. So we need to get another land so that we can't do everything on the same turn. Oh, perfect. Now we don't have to discard.
Um, I think we want to discard actually. It's not gonna change anything. Run a foul doing its work, right? Made up for it earlier. Oh man, they're gonna get a waste. I guess there's that. That doesn't seem great on this board state though. Triple maze. All right, we're not getting through without Progenitus now. They're gonna. Ooh, no. Huh. Oh, we don't have an arbor. Shoot, that is a problem. That is definitely a problem. Actually, I think we do it this way. It's more mana efficient if I burn the. It also it plays around wasteland or potentially we can get bog. So the line now is sure. We're gonna try to get to heritage mana and then get progenitors out. They may name reclaimer. That's fine with us too. Yeah. That means we can't bog, but I think that's okay. Notably, we can cast our shepherd here, right? Do we care about collective? Probably not. Blast zone would be annoying, but they don't have the mana. I think we just Nettle would win this game. It's it helps, but I think it's not that much better, right? They had to take the needle. Keep in mind to take off the reclaimer. I think actually this I want this actually. This is safer. Keep in mind the saga would get something different, right? Run of foul did work this game though, for whatever it's worth. There's a chance we just have. No, we don't. I was gonna say lethal through three mazes, but no, we have to tap the heritage mana. They're gonna port us as well, which is okay. The problem with them is after the Merit Lage, they never really presented a clock, and I think now we just win, right? Like, hold on one second. So it's not even lethal. So I think I just want to play it safe. I'm gonna pitch that. Oops, cancel. That should be game. The other thing is Netto actually doesn't win you this game, Wally, because of the sphere too, right? So you're not actually netting mana, is what I just remembered. Yeah, pretty good. I have some water, I think, right here. 1 second. All right, let's see if we can finish out with the 5-0, right? Pretty good stuff, so far this league. I will say the Smash 3 against Delver is asterisk, though. I can't tell, Wally. You could be serious, right? But yeah, it would be nice. You can finish the stream with a 5-0 here. Probably raid Francisco afterwards. I know, right? Like, man, who would have thought me the trophy leader? That's never happened before, right? But yeah, definitely some asterisks here. We did beat Lance twice though, which is kind of neat. But definitely asterisks on the third match. And I don't even remember what we beat in the first round. I think it was some poor Jeskai control player probably. But yeah, one more to go. Maybe we'll be the trophy leader. So far, like, this has been pretty good. Like, I know the run of foul was awkward against the Delver player when they had the hull breacher, but otherwise was quite good, right? Um, yes, like we have protection against Merit Legion. I think that's probably the only way we lose that game, because they had no pressure, and we fortunately when they on the turn they went for it, we just happen to have it right. Kiwi Mobius. We will see what they're on. What is the final boss playing? Looks like some Tundra deck, potentially. I think we're generally happy with this. Gonna fetch basic just to be safe. Please don't stifle me. Uh-oh. Underground Sea? Alright, they're on Doomsday. I actually think I am okay with this matchup. We'll probably lose game one, but I do feel favored post board. If they want a Days of Heritage here, like by all means, sure. I guess I get the logic, right? Like, I mean, what did they pitch? Force pitching force, sure. Like, I guess their logic is better force whatever first so that it's not dead later on. Obviously, here, I think what I need to do is get to natural order the following turn. So, that was kind of a clutch draw there. And they have to kind of kill us now. Because we have lethal the following turn. Or natural order into Archon, right? Alright, so they seem to know what's up, that they have to kind of kill us here. Personally, I probably, if I were them, probably would main phase Brainstorm because you know you're playing against elves. And see if you can just go off earlier. So that doesn't seem quite right to me what they did here. Like, you're a combo deck, right? The good thing is they literally have to kill us here, or I guess strip our natural order. If they don't do that, we kill them. I gotta pause just in case they think I could have endurance. The interesting thing is the Mindbreak Trap suddenly relevant in this matchup potentially. I'd be curious from the Doomsday players. Are you gonna play around Mindbreak Trap? Personal too, sure. So I think that's game. I'm not gonna reveal that I'm on the Reclaimer version, but I suspect most people would think I am anyways. Actually, I think it's probably correct to do it this way. For more damage. Sure, why not? All right, we are even up a game against here Doomsday. Our opponent looked like they were kind of sketched though. I don't know about double brainstorm like on your opponent's turn. I probably would just go for the kill. You need to go fast, in my opinion. I wonder if there's some merit to just like bringing Snuff out against these careless Doomsday players. Excuse me. Might even be worth it. I don't. Probably not though. Seems loose. Yeah, seems loose. To bring Snuff out in. I think I'd probably just do that.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully we can just get one of the two, right? Clean out with the 5-0. Pretty good here. Keep. We had the 1-2 combo, right? Like Shepherd, Green Sun was into endurance. They could Thoughtseize us here. Who knows? I mean, speak of the devil, right? They probably take the endurance, which is like makes sense. I think I still want to keep the Green Sun. It really depends on our draw step. If we draw something relevant, we ramp. What in the world is going on? Why did they take that? If we win this, I will feel like it's another asterisk. I'm not gonna reveal that I drew another heritage, but in general, it's correct to lead with the elves over the insect. That would seems loose, but I don't know. The shelled out isle plan. Against a deck that naturally plays Boseiju. Let's see. Where are the forces? One, two, okay, three. Looks like the last one is in their hand, unfortunately. One, okay, one oracle has been pitched away. Interesting. And they didn't keep days in, which is also interesting. Hmm. If they force here, one, two. One, two. Am I missing something? One, two, three. They could have packed a negation in their pile. The thing is, like, I'm tempted to just stone rain them here. But I don't see basic, so that scares me. They might have it in their pile. So here's the basic swamp. I'm just making sure, like, because I play Doomsday myself, so I'm trying to reverse engineer the land here. But I think, yeah, I think we do that, and then Green Sun for one. If they go for, we have the endurance pitch too because of the Waterwood, for what it's worth. Yeah, it was dangerous for me to go for the Baseju there. Like they had another land.
Can they even win from here? Because the second Oracle is already exiled.
Yeah, I think that's game. All right, cool. I mean, we got the 5-0, but I somehow feel like it's asterisk, right? Like it's really a 3-0. Our opponent didn't feel like they knew what's up. Like they even, I mean, maybe they're just not familiar with the matchup, but like they know we have a green sun, and they know Shepherd plus endurance is a, stops that. Obviously, if you have the second Oracle, you try again next turn. I don't know what our next card would have been. Oof, that's pretty good. Although it doesn't really stop them from winning, right? We would have to play oof and then pass, and then we probably lose, to be honest, depending on how they stack their pile. But we'll take it. The nice thing is like we have enough a high enough density of cards where we just can keep almost any hand, which is what I like about discard in general. It's not the haymaker, the deafening silence, or like Leyline of the Void is, but it means we can bring them in for the majority of combo. And I think as a general rule of thumb, the way I build the sideboard, I'll bring it up. As a general rule of thumb, I do not want to lose to combo unless it's like Belcher. I'm willing to accept losing to Belcher, but anything else, I think I want to win. Um, but yeah, I think the list felt pretty good here, right? Like, obviously some asterisks going on, round 5 and round 3, but overall, I think the list felt good. Um, Anybody have any questions? But yeah, I think pretty happy overall. The run afoul, won us a game against lands because it meant that we can just shut off their combo. And because they didn't have any clock, that was a big deal. And then obviously the higher land count definitely helped that we're under a tabernacle lock or soft lock, and I definitely don't regret cutting the glimpses. Endurance means we don't get cheesed by a loan potentially in that matchup. But I think otherwise, if nobody has any questions, snapshot while you can, right? We are atop the leaderboard. But I'm gonna go ahead and raid Francisco then if nobody has any questions. F. Paulus. Thank you everybody for joining us, and yeah, there's more. There's my social media. For those of you who are curious about either subscribing to Patreon or just checking out my stuff on YouTube or Discord, all notifications through Twitter as usual.